Welcome back to Sports Talk NYC. If you saw the No Way Out, the WWE No Way Out 2012 review, part one, then this is part two, and you're in the right place. So let's just jump right into it. No introduction needed. I left off with Triple H, Brock Lesnar stuff. That's done. I'm done ranting on that. Let's keep it going with the next match that was on the card, which was the Divas Championship match between Layla and Beth Phoenix. Um, I don't feel the need to review this. It's Layla's a okay wrestler. Beth Phoenix is a better than okay wrestler. They obviously gave the belt to Layla as a surprise return kind of hype thing. It worked a little bit. I liked it. Layla's decent. She she's a lot better than most of the divas on the roster. As is Beth Phoenix for that matter. She's probably the best diva around between her and Natalia. Those two are probably the cream of the crop. Of course, Natalia is not being used, but such is life. Um, there's nothing else I can review on that. The Divas division isn't going anywhere either. Obviously, Karma had her own personal tragedy with her child pretty much dying before birth, I believe, during pregnancy. It's a sad thing. We all would love to see her back, but on her own terms, of course. So let's hope for the best. Moving forward, we had Hanako versus Sin Cara, or Sin Cara, as they call him. Sin Cara came back. He's done a couple of good matches, botch free, which is definitely a surprise to everyone. And once again, he's one of those gimmick wrestlers that he doesn't talk. He has the mask. He has the the gold glowing ring when he wrestles. It's all a part of his gimmick, and it's okay. He's obviously a decent wrestler. He's a good wrestler, a really good wrestler. In terms of what WWE wants him to do and what they have him doing, it's belittling his style, and that's why you saw a lot of botches, a lot of mess ups. I guess what you want to call his first stint since he came back from his injury. Um, he's very over with the crowd, and the sky is limitless for this guy. But it's really up to the WWE to take his character to the next level. Put the U.S. Championship on him. He may be Mexican, but hey, put the U.S. Championship on him. Put a belt on him, because he's that good of a wrestler. Um, WWE made the mistake of saying that he was the best wrestler to come out of Mexico recently, and that's certainly just a slap in the face to Rey Mysterio. It certainly would have somebody like Eddie Guerrero rolling in his grave, and somebody like Chavo Guerrero just badmouthing the company because he's nowhere near the best. He's good. He's nowhere near the best. But WWE can help him get to that if they build him up correctly. Moving forward, we have what probably should have been the main event, but of course, with John Cena in the equation, you're never the main event, even if you have the WWE Championship. So, CM Punk versus Kane versus Daniel Bryan in what looked like a decent match. You have Punk and Bryan in the equation, and obviously it's going to be a good match. Their match at, I believe, was Over the Limit, the last pay-per-view, was phenomenal. It's something you don't see from WWE too often, and it's something you wish you would see more often, because it was such great wrestling, back and forth. I thought Bryan was going to win, and rumor has it that he was penciled in to win the championship at the last pay-per-view. And rumor has it again that he was once again penciled in to win it this time. And very much like the Sheamus Ziggler situation, people are calling for Daniel Bryan to become the WWE champion. I mean, Punk has had his run for a while now, and it's been a good run. It's definitely something that has taken Punk to the next level. But it's getting a little stale now. It's this whole best in the world uh, sort of renegade attitude. It's getting a little stale now, and it's hard to tell why. It CM Punk is a great wrestler, great on the mic. He's always been himself, and that gets over with the crowd. On the other hand, though, what made him so likable was that he seemed different from the John Cena's. He seemed different from the Randy Ortons. He seemed much more authentic, much more real. But when you see him beating Daniel Bryan and Kane in a match that probably would have been the best time to have Daniel Bryan win, it makes Punk seem much more like John Cena, much more like Randy Orton. Because it seems like Punk can't lose the belt cleanly, and that's the problem. I don't think WWE realizes that a lot of their legends, a lot of their Hall of Famers have lost cleanly to lose the belt before. It happened. And why it's not happening to guys like Punk is beyond me. And even this time, he didn't necessarily have to lose the belt cleanly. Kane was in the mix. You have Daniel Bryan, maybe you have Kane knock Punk out of the match or knock him out temporarily, and Bryan come up and get the win, maybe a sneak pin, or actually gets Kane to tap, or whatever you want to do. But you do it. But still, Punk retains. Daniel Bryan is still without. He had his world title reign, and it was a very good one actually. It helped him get over. It helped him put him in this position with CM Punk, and he's definitely in the main event status, and he looks like he's there to stay. But if this feud between him and Punk are going anywhere, he has to win the belt cleanly. And I don't see why he wouldn't. I understand he's the heel, and he's not supposed to win cleanly all the time, but a good, clean win over CM Punk would make this feud tremendous. And I don't see why it hasn't happened yet. Moving on to the main event, John Cena versus The Big Show in a... Oh, sorry. I went way ahead of myself. I completely looked over Ryback. Sorry, WWE. I looked over Ryback beating up two jobbers. I don't want to say anything about it because Ryback is another waste of time. He's another Vince McMahon. He's another kind of guy that Vince likes. The big, bulky guys who just can't wrestle, but has the look. I'm not big on Ryback. Most people aren't big on Ryback. So there's not much to say. Let's move on. Big Show, Cena. Cage match, main event. I don't know how many times Cena has main evented without the belt, but it's certainly enough times for me to say that this is crap. I understand Cena is the draw, he is the money man, but that doesn't mean he is above everyone else, and he's above the prestiges of the two main belts you have on your roster. Cena should be the second or third to last match. You want to have him in your main event, put him there. But the main event, it's a bit much. This is almost as bad as having the belt on him and having him in the main event. Because it's as if nothing changed. He lost the belt and he's still in the main event. It doesn't make sense. Other than that, the match was okay. It's a lot of the same stuff between him and Big Show. Obviously, the stipulation was an added incentive to help the match go along and help draw people into the match, with John Laurinaitis supposedly being fired if Big Show were to lose. So Big Show loses, Laurinaitis gets fired. Of course, we'll see tonight on Raw what happens. But honestly, it's getting a little tired. It's getting a little tired seeing Cena constantly main event every pay-per-view. Excuse me. Main event every pay-per-view with no belt. And it gets even more tired to see him with the belt and main event. And it's just this terrible rut that they put themselves in. Because I hate to sound like a whiny little internet fan, as people have said, but it's not right. Compared to other promotions that get it right, they know world champions are world champions. You put them in the main event no matter what. And whether it flops or succeeds, you put them there. because you've put enough trust in them to put the belt on them that they should main event. But John Cena will constantly be the draw, and it will constantly be the main event with or without a belt. And it's kind of sad. It's pretty sad. The direction everything goes in, it's pretty sad for the WWE. It sucks to be a fan of them. I mean, if you're not already brainwashed by what they're doing, it sucks to be a fan. But as a fan, I have found that, you know what? TNA's doing their thing, Ring of Honor's doing their thing, and there are a whole bunch of indie promotions that know what they're doing compared to what the WWE are doing. The WWE is nothing more than a business now compared to a wrestling business. TNA, Ring of Honor, PWG, the list goes on. Those promotions are wrestling first. WWE, I'm not even sure if wrestling is in their top 5. And it's sad. It's sad to see. So, with Sports Talk NYC, hope you enjoyed the video.